Hey everyone, it's me Jenny and welcome to my channel Lovingly Knee. So in this video I'm going to show you how to crochet this mermaid tail right here. This is for baby age 6 to 12 months old and this is how it looks like. The measurement from the top right here all the way to the end of the tail, it is 20 inches. Okay, and from the top all the way down including the fin, it is 29.5 inches. Okay, so for the tail, so this is the tail and this is the fin. So for the tail, 4 rounds right here, double crochet stitch, and the rest is crochet the shell stitch. And for the fin, crochet all the stitches using half double crochet stitch, and all the stitches crochet in the back loop to create this ribbing like stitch. Okay, so the circumference around it is 22 inches. Okay, so the yarn that I use to crochet this one right here, it is a chunky yarn, and this is the brand or the yarn that I use. This is Hayfield Spirit Chunky. If you use chunky weight yarn which is thicker than this one right here, your result might be bigger compared to the measurement that I gave. But if you use a medium weight yarn number 4, I think you will get the same result as the measurement I gave you. Okay, also it's depending how loose or how tight you crochet, the measurement will be off. Okay, and for the crochet hook, I'm using 5mm crochet hook. Okay, so without further ado, let's start. Oh, okay, so before I forget, the total amount of yarn that I use for this, this one right here, this is 100-gram yarn or 3.5 ounce, and I use up 2.5 skein. So this is my 3rd skein and I have half skein left right here. Okay, so you need about 250 grams or 250 grams, it is about 8 ounces of yarn. Okay, plus minus about that much. Okay, so without further ado, let's start. Okay, so we're going to start by making magic loop or magic circle. You can do your magic loop, magic circle, or magic ring, however way that you prefer. This is how I normally do. Wrap the yarn around fingers, hold it right there, twist the yarn, hold it right there, hook in the loop, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Okay, so this is how I make my magic loop or magic ring. So now we're going to start round 1. We're going to start with chain 2, 1, 2. Okay, so this chain 2 does not count as stitch count. So now we're going to make 12 double crochet stitch in this loop right here. Okay, so to make double crochet stitch, we're going to yarn over, hook in the loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you have 3 loops on your crochet hook, 1, 2, 3. Now yarn over, pull up 2 loops. Now you have 2 loops on your crochet hook, and now pull up both loops. You made your first double crochet stitch right here. Okay, so now we're going to make the rest of the double crochet stitch. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to make total of 12 double crochet in this loop right here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so once you make 12 double crochet, go ahead and slip stitch on the first double crochet stitch right here, the first double crochet, slip stitch. Now to close the hole at the center, just pull this tail right here. Okay, so done with round 1. So now for round 2, we're going to start with chain 2, 1, 2. This chain 2 does not count as stitch count. So now we're going to make 2 double crochet in every stitch. Okay, starting at the first stitch right here, the same stitch where we did the slip stitch. We're going to make 2 double crochet in the first stitch. So 1, 2, 2 double crochet in the next stitch, 1, 2, 2 double crochet next stitch, 1 and 2. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 2. Make 2 double crochet in every stitch all the way to the last stitch right here. Okay, so I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so once you're done round 2, you made 2 double crochet in every stitch. Now go ahead and slip stitch on the first double crochet stitch, this one right here. So for round 2, you should have total of 24 stitches around. Okay, so now we're going to start round 3. Round 3, we start with chain 2, 1, 2. This chain 2 does not count as stitch count. So now we're going to make 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitch. So 1 double crochet in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the second stitch. Okay, 1 double crochet first stitch, 1 double crochet second stitch. So next we're going to make 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Next stitch, 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. Okay, so now we're going to repeat the same sequence where we made 2 double crochet, 1 in each stitch, 1, 2, and 2 double crochet in the next stitch. We're going to repeat total 8 times. Okay, we're going to make 8 stitch increase for round 3. Okay, so 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitch, 1, 1. Okay, next stitch, 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. Okay, we made the second repeat. Now we're going to repeat the same sequence. 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, now 2 double crochet, 1, 2. Next stitch, 2 double crochet, next stitch, 1 and 2. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 3. You're going to repeat the same sequence right here. You're going to make 2 double crochet, 1, 2, 1 double crochet in each stitch, and 2 double crochet in the following stitch. Okay, repeat total 8 times. I'll see you at the end of round 3. Okay, so once you're done round 3, you made total of 8 stitch increase. Go ahead and slip stitch on the first double crochet right here. Okay, so for round 3, you should have total of 32 stitches around, and so far this is how it looks like. Okay, so now we're going to do round 4. Start with chain 2, 1, 2. This chain 2 does not count as stitch count. So now we're going to make 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitch. So 1 double crochet right here, 1 double crochet right here, and 1 double crochet right here. Okay, 3 double crochet, 1 double crochet in each stitch. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to make 2 double crochet in the next stitch. 1 and 2. Okay, so for round 4, we're going to repeat the same sequence total 8 times. We're going to make 3 double crochet, 1 double crochet in each stitch, 1, 2, 3, and 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, for round 4 we're going to make 8 stitch increase as well. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 4. Repeat the same sequence right here, total 8 times, and I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so once you're done round 4, you made total of 8 stitch increase. As I mentioned, you repeat the same sequence right here. Go ahead and slip stitch on the first double crochet stitch. So for round 4, you should have total of 40 stitches around, 40. Okay, so for round 5 is where we're going to start to do the shell stitch. And for round 5, we're going to start with chain 1. And this chain 1 count as a stitch count. This is count as single crochet stitch, this chain 1. Okay, so now we're going to skip the next stitch. Okay, so first stitch right here, chain 1 is the first stitch, and now we're going to skip the next stitch, and at the following stitch you're going to make the shell stitch, where you're going to make 3 double crochet stitch. Okay, 3 double crochet stitch in the same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we're going to skip the next stitch, and at the following stitch you're going to make 1 single crochet. Okay, so now we're going to repeat, skip 1, shell stitch, where we make 3 double crochet in the same stitch. So this is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now skip the next stitch, and the following stitch you're going to make 1 single crochet. Okay, you're going to repeat, skip 1 stitch, shell stitch, skip 1 stitch, single crochet stitch, skip 1 stitch, shell stitch. Okay, you're going to repeat until you reach the end, and you should have total of 10 of the shell stitch, and the last shell stitch should end right here, 1 stitch before the chain 1 at the beginning of the round. Okay, once again I'm going to show you. So after you make your single crochet, you're going to skip 1 stitch, and at the following stitch right here you're going to make the shell stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, skip 1 stitch, following stitch you're going to make single crochet stitch. Okay, skip 1, shell stitch, skip 1 stitch, next stitch you're going to do 1 single crochet. Okay, so go ahead and finish up until you made the last shell stitch. The last shell stitch should end right here. Okay, 1 stitch before the chain 1 from beginning of the round. Okay, so I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so once you're done round 3, you made your last shell stitch. As I mentioned, you should have total of 10 shell stitch. So we're going to do the stitch count, the shell stitch count. So this is the first shell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so once you made 10 shell stitch, you should have 1 stitch left right here before the chain 1 from beginning of the round. We're going to skip that stitch, and now we're going to finish up round 5 by slip stitch into the first into the chain 1 from beginning of the round. Okay, so done with round 5. So far this is how it looks like. So now we're going to do round 6. So for round 6 we're going to start right here. Now before we start round 6, we're going to slip 1 stitch forward. Okay, we're going to slip stitch on this first double crochet of the shell stitch. from round 5. Okay, just slip 1 stitch forward. Okay, so now we're going to make single crochet on the second double crochet of the shell stitch right here. Okay, 1 single crochet in the following stitch. Okay, so this is going to be our beginning stitch of round 6. So I suggest you to use a stitch marker if you do not want to get confused where is the beginning of every round. Just place your stitch marker right here, and this is the mark where you start the round for round 6. Now we're going to do the shell stitch, and the shell stitch we're going to do it on the single crochet from the previous round, round 5. Okay, the single crochet right here, we're going to do the shell stitch, 3 double crochet, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we're going to make 1 single crochet. We're going to do the single crochet on the second stitch, second double crochet of the shell from the previous round. Okay, now shell stitch in a single crochet, 1, 2, 3. Now single crochet on the second double crochet, shell stitch right here, and shell stitch. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 6. It's pretty easy. Basically, you're going to make the shell stitch in the single crochet from the previous round and a single crochet on the shell stitch, the second double crochet from the previous round. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 6. Round 6 you should have the same shell count, 10 shell stitch, and shell stitch number 10 should be right here, the same stitch where we did the slip stitch for round 5. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 6 and I'll see you once it's done. Okay, so now I'm almost done. I'm gonna show you where to place the stitch, shell stitch number 10. So as you can see right here, this is the chain 1 of round 5. So we're going to do the shell stitch right here, 3 double crochet, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we're going to do shell stitch count. As I mentioned, you should have 10 shell stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now we're going to finish up round 6 by slip stitch in this single crochet from early of the round where I asked you to place the stitch marker. Now I'm going to remove that and slip stitch in the single crochet right here. Okay, so done with round 6. Okay, so for the next 5 rounds or until you reach round 11, you're going to repeat exactly same as round 6. So after you finish up every round, you did the slip stitch on the single crochet from early of the round. You're going to slip 1 stitch forward, and at the next stitch you're going to make 1 single crochet, and the single crochet is the mark of the first stitch of the round. Okay, so place your stitch marker if you do not want to get confused. And now we're going to do the shell stitch, 3 double crochet shell stitch in a single crochet from the previous round. And after you made the shell stitch, next you're going to make single crochet on the shell stitch from the previous round. You're going to make it on the second double crochet stitch. Okay, so go ahead and finish up, continue until you reach round 11. So basically every round of the shell stitch you should have 10 shell stitch. So it's the shell stitch you make it in the single crochet from the previous round, and the single crochet stitch you make it on the second double crochet shell stitch from the previous round. Okay, the most confusing part is the last shell stitch. The last shell stitch should be right here, the single crochet stitch from the previous round, the beginning of the round. And to finish up, you're going to slip stitch in the single crochet from the beginning of the same round. Okay, the where you place the stitch marker. And to start the next round, you're going to slip one stitch forward and make one single crochet, and the one single crochet is where you're going to place your stitch marker to mark every beginning of the round. Okay, so go ahead and finish up until you reach round 11, and I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so I've crocheted until round 11. Now I'm just going to slip stitch right here at the single crochet from earlier of this round, round 11. So we're going to count the rounds. Round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so far this is how it looks like. And from round 1 until round 11, the length is about 6 inches or 15 centimeter, 15 cm. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly the same, but the shell stitch, instead of 3 double crochet, from round 12 onwards we're going to make 4 double crochet for the shell stitch. Okay, so now we're going to slip one stitch forward, one single crochet in the next stitch, and place the stitch marker right here. Okay, so now we're going to do round 12. As I mentioned, for the shell stitch we're going to make 4 double crochet. Okay, we're going to do the shell stitch in the single crochet from the previous round. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, one single crochet on the shell stitch and shell stitch 4 double crochet in the single crochet. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 12. Everything remained the same except for the shell stitch. As I mentioned, we're going to make 4 double crochet instead of 3 double crochet. Okay, go ahead and finish up round 12, and I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so once you crochet until the end of round 12, go ahead and remove the stitch marker, slip stitch on a single crochet to finish up round 12. Okay, so far this is how it looks like. It's not that much different except for the 4 double crochet shell stitch. Okay, for the shell count you should have the same 10 shell stitch for every round. So this is the first shell stitch for round 12 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now we're going to start next round, round 13. Okay, so for the previous round, round 5 until round 11, where we did the 3 double crochet shell stitch, we slip one stitch forward to start the new round. But because we have 4 double crochet stitch right here, so instead of slip stitch 1 stitch, now we're going to slip stitch 2 stitch. Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, we slip 2 stitch forward. So now at the next stitch we're going to make 1 single crochet. Okay, so this single crochet is the beginning of the round. round 13. Okay, so place your stitch marker right there. And so now we're going to start doing the shell stitch. Okay, so the first shell stitch is right here. So now we're going to single crochet right here. So 1, 2 on the third double crochet stitch right here. Okay, shell stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, and single crochet on the third double crochet, 1, 2, 3. Okay, go ahead and finish up round 13, and I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 13. Now I'm going to slip stitch on the single crochet right here at the beginning of the round. Okay, so far this is how it looks like. Okay, so from now on you're just going to continue crochet until the length 19 inches. Okay, so far the length is 7 inches, and you're going to crochet 19 inches long. So this long up to right here. Okay, so there's more than halfway to go. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, to start the new round, you're going to slip 2 stitch forward, 1, 2, and next stitch you're going to 1 single crochet. Okay, and 1 single crochet is the beginning of the round, and you're going to place your stitch marker right there, and you're going to make your shell stitch 4 double crochet shell stitch in the single crochet from the previous round, and single crochet on the third double crochet of the shell stitch, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so go ahead and finish up until you crochet until you get 19 inches length. Okay, go ahead and finish up, and I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so I'm back and I'm done crochet until I get the length of total 19 inches from round 1 all the way up here. So I have my measuring tape right here, and starting all the way at round 1 and all the way here, it is 19 inches exactly. Okay, so it's depending how loose or how tight you crochet, your round count probably will be more or less. For me, total 33 rounds, starting from round 1 all the way 19 inches is 33 rounds. Okay, so next we're going to do 2 rounds of half double crochet stitch. Okay, so for the next 2 rounds, so after you're done, you slip stitch at the single crochet right here, you're going to chain 1, and you're going to basically make 1 half double crochet stitch in every stitch. Okay, every stitch 1 half double crochet here, okay, so go ahead and finish up round 34. So right now I'm at round 34. It depends on what round you are at to get the 19 inches. So for me, round 34, I'm going to make 1 half double crochet stitch in every stitch until all the way to the last stitch right here. Okay, so I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 34, and now I'm going to slip stitch right here in the first half double crochet stitch. And now for the next round, round 35, start with chain 1, and you're going to make the same stitch count as you have right here. So for me, I have 49 half double crochet stitch around. Okay, so go ahead and finish up this round. Make the same amount of stitch count as what you have right here. Okay, so it really doesn't matter the stitch count right here. Sometimes you might accidentally add one extra stitch or one less stitch on the shell, so it really doesn't matter on the stitch count right here. As long as you get the length, it's fine. If one or two stitch less, it really doesn't spoil the design of the mermaid tail. Okay, so go ahead and finish up the last round, and I'll see you once it's done. Okay, so once you crochet your last round, go ahead and slip stitch in the first stitch right here, chain 1 to secure stitches, and we're going to cut the yarn. Okay, just cut enough for you to weave in the ends. Okay, so the opening circumference right here, you should get around 22 or 23.5 inches. It depends how loose or how tight you crochet, but 22 inches is large enough to fit baby 6 to 12 months old, and also this is stretchable, so not to worry about that. So I'm going to take my tape measure and we're going to measure the circumference. Okay, I start right here. So about 22, almost 22.5 inches. Okay, as I mentioned also earlier, this is pretty stretchable, so not to worry about it. Okay, so this is how it looks like so far. Next, I'm going to show you how to crochet the fin. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to crochet the fin. So this is half of the fin, and there are total 11 rows, and you're going to make 2 of the same pattern, and you're going to join at the center right here. So if you crochet using self-striping yarn, I suggest you to start the same, both half of the fin, I suggest you to start with the same color. So for example, right here I start the first row with this peach color, so the other half of the fin I'm going to use the same color, so the color distribution is even. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this half of the fin. Start with making a slip knot. Okay, so now you're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now we're going to start row 1 right here, and for row 1 we're going to make 8 half double crochet stitch, and we're going to start in the 3rd chain from the crochet hook. So this is the 1st chain, 2nd chain, and 3rd chain. Starting right here, 3rd chain, you're going to make the first half double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and as I crochet I'm going to hide this end, this tail right here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so done with row 1. This is how it looks like. So now for row 2 right here, we're going to increase 3 stitch. So we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so once you chain 5, now for row 2 we're going to make 3 stitch increase. So at row 1 we have 8 half double crochet, so for row 2 we're going to make 11 half double crochet, and the first half double crochet we're going to start in the 3rd chain, 1, 2, 3 right here, 1, 2, 3. And once you made 3 half double crochet, now we're going to crochet the rest of the stitches right here, and we're going to crochet in the back loop. Okay, so this is the front loop and this is the back loop. We're going to crochet all the stitches in the back loop except the last stitch. Okay, so by crochet in the back loop, we're going to get this ribbing stitch. Okay, so all stitches in the back loop except the last one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11, you're going to crochet both front and back loop. Okay, so done with row 2. Now for row 3, we're going to start with chain 1, turn the work. Now we're going to make 11 half double crochet plus 5 chain. Okay, so once you chain 1, turn the work. Now you're going to make 11 half double crochet, so 1 half double crochet in each stitch. All the stitch you're going to crochet in the back loop except for the last stitch right here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The last stitch, you're going to crochet both front and back loop. Okay, so after you made 11 half double crochet, now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so for round 4, we're going to make 3 stitch increase. So we're going to make 14 half double crochet stitch, starting from the 3rd chain. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The last stitch, crochet both front and back loop together. Okay, so done with round 4, 14 half double crochet. So far, this is how it looks like. Okay, so now we're going to do row 5. Start with chain 1, turn the work. We're going to make 14 half double crochet stitch, all stitch crochet in the back loop except the last stitch. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So after you made 14 half double crochet, now you're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so once you chain 5, now we're going to start row 6. Okay, so for row 6, we're going to make 17 half double crochet, starting in the 3rd chain. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Okay, so now you're going to continue increase every other row. I'm going to put the pattern on the screen right here. You can pause and continue crochet until you reach row 19. So for row 19 you should end up with 35 half double crochet stitch. Okay, so make sure to crochet all the stitches in the back loop to get this ribbon stitch. Okay, all the stitches crochet in the back loop except for the last stitch. Okay, so go ahead and finish up. It's pretty easy. Basically every other row you're going to increase by 3 stitches. So this is the increase right here where you chain 5. Okay, so go ahead and finish up. The pattern will be on the screen right here for the fin until the fin, as I mentioned, total of 19 rows. Okay, so I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so once you're done your fin, go ahead and chain 1 to secure stitches, and you're going to cut the yarn and pull it through the loop. And now you're going to use a needle or smaller crochet hook to hide this end right here. Okay, so I'm done. As I mentioned, you're going to make 2 of the same pattern right here, and you're going to join at the center right here. Okay, so make sure you use the same color yarn. Okay, so I'm going to use needle to sew both pieces together. Okay, so just line both pieces together and going to secure it by making knots. I'm going to make double knot to make sure it's really secure. And you're going to hide end of the tail. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, so now we're going to sew the fin right here to this part. So now you're going to grab your needle and yarn. Okay, so I'm going to make a knot at the end of the yarn right here. So how I normally do is I wrap the needle 3 or 4 times and hold it right there and pull it all the way to the end of the yarn. Okay, right there. Okay, so now we're going to make sure this is the center, and we're going to place it right there, and we're going to start from this end. And how I normally do is, as I sew, I'm going to fold like so. Okay, so we get the ruffle. So we're going to sew at round number 6. So round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here. This is the second round of the shell stitch. Right here, we're going to start right there. Okay, you can do this however way that you prefer. This is how I normally do. Just insert the needle on this end of the fin, the tail, Okay, and I'm going to fold like so. And I'm going to do the second fold right here. Okay, so as you fold, please make sure that this center will stay right here. If you keep folding and you're not paying attention on the center right here, this center will off with this center. Okay, so make sure you always double check before you fold the fin. So as you can see, my center is exactly right here, center of the tail and the fin. Okay, so now I'm going to sew the rest of the fin to the tail. Okay, just do the same step. Okay, so I am almost done. Okay, so once you're done, make sure to make double or triple knot to make sure all the stitches are secure. One, and this is the second knot. Okay, so once you're done, I'm just going to weave in ends. Okay, so done right here. This is how it looks like. And now the last part that we need to do is we're going to make a very long chain for the waist part right here. So just in case if it is too big, too loose, you can adjust it with the string. Okay, so grab the same yarn. Okay, so I crochet about 45 inches of chains, long chain, 45 inches. So now we're going to place it right here. Okay, so what you basically do is just I do it right here, the last row of the shell stitch. So you're going to under the shell stitch, hold this, and from here now we're going to grab the string, okay, go under the shell stitch and grab the string. Okay, going to continue all the way right here. Okay, so now all you need to do is tie a bow and you're done. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, so I do hope you find this tutorial easy to follow. If you have any question, leave your question at the comment section down below. I will try my very best to reply. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video and share this video with your fellow crochet friends. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell notification. That way you will be notified every time when I upload a video. And also don't forget to follow me on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care everyone. God bless and bye.